is Eamonn O'Connor, and I'm parish priest in a place called Strokestown, if you've heard tell of that, which I think you have. Before that, I spent 13 years as parish priest in Tarmanbarry. Apart from working in the parish, I do a little bit of broadcasting on local radio as well with a colleague of mine, Father Joe McGrath, who is in the Diocese of Ardagh-Clonmacnoise, and we're helped in that by a retired teacher called Patsy Lee, who lives in Cavan. That's a tricky one to answer, because I suppose growing up I was the eldest in our family, and grandparents were hugely important people, and I would have first heard my mother's father, Hugh Halton, say things to me when I was very small, like, "Oh, wouldn't you make a lovely priest someday, please God," etc. So that kind of conversation was going on in the background of my life from an early age, and it would have been something that I took quite seriously back then, but of course then later on in teenage discovered girls and youth club and all these kind of things, and it got pushed back a bit to the back of my mind, until one day in our Leaving Cert year a priest came into our classroom in Summerhill. Summerhill was the diocesan college in Sligo, and a priest came in during Father Lavin's Irish class. So we were very impressed with the priest's courage, because you did not interrupt Father Lavin's Irish class for anything. But this priest came in, his name was Father Christy Jones, and he addressed us all and he said, "Now, if any of you have ever had a thought about priesthood, I'm giving you out these forms, and I want you to just tick the box or fill it in and see what will happen." So that was a momentous day, because I ticked the box on that, and that began a story. My second appointment was as a priest working in the cathedral parish in Sligo, and part of what we used to do there was we'd fill in for the hospital chaplain whenever the need arose. And one night I got called out of bed to go to anoint somebody who was in the coronary care unit in the hospital. And when I got there, the nurse, or the ward sister, said to me, "No, you won't be needed for this lady until the doctor has seen her, and he's on his way in." So I went off to see, was there anybody else that I might minister to while I was waiting for the doctor to come. So I ended up down in a little ward at the back of the hospital, and there was one nurse on duty. The others had gone for their evening meal or their middle of the night meal or whatever. And she said to me, she said, "There's a lady in there that can't seem to settle down to sleep. Would you ever go in and rise your hand over her," is the way they say it, and see, would you settle her down for the night? So I looked in and I saw these two frightened eyes looking out of the bed, and I said, "You're awake very late." And she said, "Well, I'm afraid to sleep." And I said, "Why would you be afraid to sleep?" And she said, "Well, I haven't lived a very good life." And I said, "Well, would you like to have confession or whatever?" And we had a celebration of the sacrament of penance and reconciliation, and then I gave her the sacrament of the sick. And the last thing I said to her was, "Well, if I'm still on this job in the morning, I'll come back to see how you got on, but I hope you sleep well now." And I went off back down to the coronary care unit, and just as I had my hand on the door handle, the beeper went off, and the message was that a lady had died suddenly, and it was the lady from whose bedside I had just walked. So that, to me, is a story that convinces me that no matter how far we might stray from the Lord's plan, that He has ways of bringing us back.